Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Full Circle presented by Reunion. Today's topic is going to be respect, and today I'm joined by
Nathaniel, and remember, as always, I'm counting on your vote for 2016 presidential election. Vote for me because why not?
Please vote for him.
Raven.
And of course, Jared. And like I said, today's topic is going to be about respect. Now, respect is a very powerful, very meaningful thing. It's very social between different people. What do you kind of have to say about it? What's the first thing that pops in your mind?
Besides the song R-E-S-P-C-T,
R-E-S-P-C-T, find out what it means to me.
Good song, by the way.
I would say basically where my thought process originates is something that is necessary for the sustainable development of humanity. The reason why I say that is because it's a multi-pronged thing. It is because it is based off of, first of all, social respect. We need to have a basic respect for our fellow man. Basically, one of the very few things I believe is, doesn't matter who the person is, doesn't matter what their circumstances, everyone is entitled to basic human respect. That's something that every person, every being, every entity is entitled to. It's just basic form of respect. Then you also go into it with the respect of nature, which is a very long-standing, like Native American, and not even just Native American, but just basically any tribal viewpoint is basic respect for nature. And the really exciting thing about our future is right now we really don't have a lot of respect towards nature. But there's a lot of movements going on to bring that respect to the forefront again. And without respect to nature, we get into the systems of abuse we have right now, which are just basically screwing up the entire natural world in the lightest of terms. And in order for us to actually just simply survive, there needs to be a basic respect for nature so we can actually live in harmony with the planet, which is a key thing.
Well, what I think about respect, when I hear respect, is that to me it's an attribute of equality, in my opinion. Because what respect is that you're an individual, and any other individual, or even say nature itself, the environment, you are attributing yourself and this other entity to be equal. You're giving it respect. You're in a way saying that no one other entity has any power over any other one in a way that you could just abuse a relationship or take advantage of someone. In a way, it represents a fundamental piece of equality for people in the environment.
Yes.
Do you have anything to add to that?
You make it. Maybe not.
I'm not liking this.
Well, I'll respect you to make a decision whether you want to talk about it or not, or you can just sit here looking pretty for the entire episode.
And
That's totally okay.
But that's
we already have a dog in this episode too, so.
That's another thing, though. Just think about different people have different thought processes, and to respect someone else's thought process, whether you agree with it or not, is to just say, hey, what they believe is no better than what I believe.
Is thought
So I
process even
respect.
plural of thought process, or is it?
Well, technically, if you have multiple personality disorders, you could have multiple thought processes going on at the same
Yes.
time. And even in just normal thing, sometimes I'm thinking about something and I'm just like, wait a second, that's fucking crazy. Now, to go back to our topic, Raven, I would like to hear what your impression of, at least immediate, like what Jared said to me, the immediate first thought when you hear the word respect.
First off, respect, it's treating others as you would like to be treated. It's
My favorite rule.
the golden rule, you know? I mean, it's showing that equality, it's showing that you're not lesser than them, but at the same time, you're not higher than them, you know? You're on the same plane, you're on the same level, you know? It's showing that genuine kindness, being able to sympathize with them, but at the same time, they have to be able to show that back. It's a two-way, it's a relationship, it's a two-way road, respect, it really is. I think what else to add to that?
Well, I could build off of that.
That was beautiful. Came from the heart.
When you start treating others with respect, inherently you start doing no harm. And don't get me wrong, no one's perfect. We're always in the pursuit of bettering ourselves. That's something that's universal. And that's the same thing goes with respect. You know, sometimes we all screw up. You know, sometimes I don't treat someone with the respect they deserve, and that's my fault. It's not out of malice. It's not out of intentional harm. It's just that sometimes I'm a little bit overbearing, to be completely honest.
We all have been there.
And it's being able to, and then here it comes another crucial part though. It's someone who's able to recognize that when I'm not trying to intentionally harm someone, or they're like, hey, you crossed the line, and able to respectfully message that back to me is really important. So I can then like, oh, I didn't realize that. Here's now how I can move forward to make sure I don't harm others.
Right.
But I think one thing that's really even more important to talk about real quick, over just a general respect for others, is first of all respect for yourself. Once you start treating yourself with the respect you deserve, inherently you'll start treating others with the respect you deserve. Because no one deserves to be treated like garbage. That's just, it's true. No one deserves. You're a human being. You're an entity. You deserve. You have very basic fundamental rights, which are honestly violated left and right in a lot of cultures and a lot of standards in today's societies. And the issue is that you're the only one allowing this too. No one has the real power to do that to you. You can only consent and give that power. So, and that's the real way. You know, this is not, you know, a battle you just win overnight. That's not how it works. It's something that, you know, is in the long run kind of thing.
Gradual, like you said, your wish.
Correct. And you know, in order to start treating, because you know, I at least from my personal experience, I don't want to speak for anyone else. There was a long time where I did not treat myself with the respect I deserved, and let's just say, to be completely honest, my life got really crappy for a good moment there. But I remember very firmly certain times, certain moments, where I started treating myself and like I realized that first of all, no one else is going to be happy for me. No one else is going to live my life for me. No one can do any of those things. So I just inherently started, you know, having fun with it. I was in some really crappy scenarios with just a smile on my face because I realized I had to be happy for myself. I started treating myself very slowly with that respect I deserve. I deserve happiness. I deserve to have cool experiences in life. I firmly believe those things because one, I fucking work for it. It's not, you know, I understand I have a lot of gifts and opportunities presented to me, and I'm actually smart enough to take advantage of those things. Because no one else, if you don't treat yourself with respect, all you're going to become is a welcome doormat for other people. I think it's simple.
Yeah, you have to live with a purpose each and every day. Otherwise, how do you expect to treat yourself with respect or get anywhere in life that is respectable?
It's true. It's true, because if you don't treat yourself with basic respect,
You're never going to get it.
no, and how can you give it?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't truly help someone until you've helped yourself. I also believe that. And because, you know, if you don't know what respect is like for yourself, then how do you know to give it? If you can't have a tangible first-hand experience or encounter, then how else can you relate to it or give it? You know what it's like to be disrespected, so it's very easy to give that back out. It's when you start surrounding yourself on one end of the extreme, it's really hard to get back to that golden ratio in the middle.
You know,
Whereas, you know, when you're on either end of the extreme, it's just you're farther away, so you're more likely to side. So let's say in the sense of respect and disrespect, you know, those are the quote unquote opposites. The more you treat yourself with disrespect, the more you break your own self down, all you're going to be doing is harming up. Now, you don't mind not even be going out of your way to hurt people, but just and this is something that took me a very long time to realize, the harm that you bring to others just by treating yourself with disrespect is immense, especially your loved ones and those who are close to you. By not treating yourself with basic respect to yourself and fucking honestly fucking off your life, and just being very malice towards yourself, it's very painful for those closest to you. It hurts.
well, think about how much
It
energy,
really hurts.
how much energy does it take for these people to give someone respect that can't even respect themselves? It takes a lot of energy to do that.
And even more so that just seeing someone that's very close to you go through that pain and that suffering is very toxic.
It is.
It's really hard to support someone that's in that state, as each in our own individual experiences are aware of.
Mm-hmm. There's all been a point in our lives where, in one way or another, we truly didn't respect ourselves, or maybe there were those that they didn't respect us for who we were, and we had to overcome that.
Yep. And you know, going back to when we were talking about like with friendship in the last episode and everything like that, respect comes in the workplace too. It comes in different forms in different places. You know, I mean, like I said, first of all, everyone's entitled to basic respect, but you put on more of a front at work than you do with your friends.
You do.
But which is weird because I respect any of you guys a hell of a lot more than honestly my coworkers. It's because one thing that fuels respect is a connection. By having a connection with someone, you develop an understanding. When you develop an understanding, you respect not just that person, but their perception.
Yes.
And that's
very important.
That's really, and that's people don't realize a lot of times respect goes that far. It's like, it's not just I respect you as a human being. That I don't believe you should be stabbed. That I don't believe you should be discriminated based off of your race, gender identification, your ethnicity, your sex, any of that. No, I respect you on life. That's how far that basic respect actually goes. Is I respect that you've come to understand where you are in life through your shared experiences, and some of those experiences I've shared with you,
yes.
And they've developed your understanding. So as of right now, you are the most educated you've ever been in your life. At the same time, you're the stupidest you'll ever be in your life.
Yes.
And I respect the fact that you use all of these judgments and everything like that to form your reality.
Yes.
That's a really important concept. I feel like that's not talked about at all. You have to respect someone else's beliefs. There's a reason why they're their beliefs. That's off the information they've been provided. That's what they've come to understand. And there's nothing more sacred to a human than their beliefs in whatever it is. It can be atheism, can be agnostic, can be communist, can be capitalist. Doesn't matter. There's nothing more sacred to a human being than that. And if you fuck with those beliefs, you can really fuck with a person.
Yeah.
Which is not a good thing.
Not at all. No.
One of the very fundamental things to trust is a respect.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of trusting someone without having at least basic level of respect for them.
Yeah.
At least in my sense, it doesn't comprehend how that works.
Well, how can you?
If I don't, yeah, correct. They're very intertwined for various reasons. I trust your abilities. In this scenario, you are our editor.
Yes.
You're the one who makes the final product of these videos. You add the captions. You added the video link. I trust you on that because one, you've showed me your abilities, and I respect the heck out of them, and because of you do what you say. And that's another thing. And this is and I know you were planning to talk about this, so you can actually talk now.
What?
Exactly. That's a very ancient thing. Honor and respect, and that's the whole thing. Is like by doing what you say with your word. And this is something that I had to do in my life for various reasons.
Yes.
Is my work at one point my word was pretty crappy. I had to show through my actions. That's how I was able to earn the respect and earn the trust by doing what I said in my actions. I was actually able to follow through. That's a very ancient, very honoristic, very noble, whatever the heck you want to call it, action. And when there's a reason is that because especially at those times it was valuable enough to do these things, and like people, dishonor and shame was such a big threat that people would actually negate doing certain actions and harming others because of that threat.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, if you really break it down, fundamentally, respect really is truly about perspective and equality. Two major points that we talked about.
That's an interesting thing too, is you brought up perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a huge part of paying someone respect, is being able to somewhat stand in their shoes and be able to see it from their end, you know? The way you treat someone may seem fine and dandy to you, but to them it could be just fucking terrible and completely disrespectful, and you don't realize that unless you're able to see through someone else's eyes or see the perspective of things. It's a very, very important thing, is you have to acknowledge that everyone else, they have a different perception. They're not just like you know? It's just that basic understanding that what you do may be perceived as something else by other people, you know?
Yeah. If you think about it, it's really interesting how sometimes we tend to do this subconsciously too. Put ourselves in other people's shoes, understand their perspective a little bit more. We don't even necessarily have to think about it. We just intuitively can understand what it is.
That's another thing. I mean, I don't know why, but sometimes it's socially unacceptable to even like get down and talk to somebody and be like, "Hey, bro, like this is what I think," and that kind of stuff. You know, kind of like have a heart-to-heart conversation of like, what you're perceiving as. So most people just kind of like, they either assume or they just leave it alone awkwardly, and then that fucking disrespect and shit like keeps building up and up and up. But all you gotta do is talk to the dude and fucking give your perspective on the whole situation. Sometimes that's enough to change things, make things better, make things healthier.
You need to be able to have the way where you don't. I don't want to use the word disrespect here, but disrespect the other person's belief. There's a way that you can express your belief and your perception without trying to manipulate and control the situation.
Exactly.
There's a way to give an honest opinion and an honest output without trying to control or influence another person's belief. And that's a hard thing to do, but it's one of the most respectful things you can do.
The way I found it is, you're not trying to convince them to like be on your side or anything like that. It's giving out what you believe almost factually. Almost.
Well, to you it is a fact. You know it.
Well, I mean, like,
there's a different. Yeah, no, I've agreed with you. Yeah. But when you get into when you know something, whether it's a tangible fact or not, it's a fact to you. That's a very important distinction. And there's a way to do that where you're still respecting the other person's opinion, perspective, life, freedom, all that shit. Where like
Pursuit of happiness.
Is that correct? Where you're able to be like, hey, here's honestly what I think is the situation, but you leave the choice to them.
Yes.
That's how you respect that. You're like,
So true.
here's honestly what I think. I'm not judging you. That's the big thing. Any form of judgment is a form of disrespect, in my opinion, inherently. There's a way you're like, hey, here's what I honestly think. Let's say you're pursuing a girl. I don't know.
Okay.
And you know what? Hey, man, I honestly think you guys wouldn't be good together.
Well, fine then.
and here's why: XYZ, Batman symbol, Triceratops, fucking
Triceracop.
Robocop. But you know what? If you really like it, man, I understand. I will support you. I will be your friend until the end.
And you have done that. Like, we've all
In
been
different
in that
ways.
situation.
In different ways, yes. But but if it falls on your ass, I'm going to give you shit about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's just part of the friends.
Yeah, that's part of the friend episode we talked about
Link
earlier.
to the last episode. But I mean, also if you think about it too, that this is where our biggest problem really lies. One of our biggest problems is basic lack of respect on a global scale is where a lot of the conflicts of today's era arise from. You look at people with different beliefs that they just can't respect each other for what they believe. They have to engage in combat. They have to put each other down. That's a huge rift from what we need to be doing. It's a separation.
Or just an invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
That's a huge form of
It
disrespect
is.
that's rampant
It
in
is.
almost every global community right now.
And it's basically saying that we're on a higher level than you, so we have every right to know everything that you know, like basically I'm spying on you. It's not true. It's not true.
And I can understand the counter argument that there is no such true thing as privacy. I can understand that. That's from a very existential perspective, though.
But then it goes both ways, right?
In essence, yes. However, there is no right for someone to attempt to entrap me.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
No,
That's
it's
a
not.
very huge form of disrespect. That's already making me into something I'm not. You're making me into a target. You're making me into a criminal. You're making me into just someone who doesn't agree with your own agenda because of my own personal belief. Does not have a right to target me, to entrap me into stuff.
No.
I think this is kind of somewhat on a tangent, but again, it's along the lines of respect. But I think this is something I'm still working on, because I think the greatest form of respect is allowing someone to be free, to choose, not to manipulate them even on the minute scale to try and keep them or try to make them do something that would, it's letting them actually choose and living their life, And that's a hard thing to do, because we all have that fear of being alone or letting go of something, and we'll just
Or you don't want to see someone fall.
Exactly.
That's a hard thing, allowing someone to make their own decisions and fall.
Yeah.
I was very lucky enough where actually I came from a household where my parents actually did that. They allowed me to fall. I was very resentful for a very long time. But that's the freest you can allow someone to be.
Yeah.
Is completely allow them to make their own decisions, and even if those decisions end up, I'm not
Fucking
saying
them over.
fucking them over or not being the outcome you want, is extremely important. And one of the highest forms of respect you can give someone is like, okay, here, you already know what I believe. You already know what I recommend. You already know all this stuff. Do what you want. You know my opinion. I'm not going to control you. I'm not about that. I'm not a slave driver. I'm not someone who believes in that stuff. You
Right.
make your own decision based off the information you have. I'm here as a friend to support you and love you. You have to understand, though, that if you go down a certain path, that might hurt me. Make whatever decision you want to make. I can follow you as long as I can follow you. That's it.
Well, at least you have the perspective to understand what you went through and to be able to respect those that have been in your life for whatever reason that they were in your life for and what you went through.
Well, another thing that I realized is one of the biggest ways to give respect is by showing your appreciation,
Yes.
Yeah.
which is so underdone. And it's not even a conscious thing. You don't inherently, you just get used to things. You get into certain rhythms, you get into certain routines, you get in certain cycles, and you get used to it. So to show you appreciate something is you really have to go out of your way, honestly. It's almost even not natural.
No. It's like giving basic props.
Correct, and that is one of the most successful ways in my experience to show respect, to give respect, is to be like, okay, thank you for all you've done. Here, because of you doing these things for me, the least I can do for you is say, express a little gratitude. And that goes a really long ways.
Yeah.
It's literally just saying the simplest, most generic thing, just like, thank you. Just, I'm thinking about you. Just, like,
Yeah.
I take a trash for you without you asking. Is there anything I can do to help? All these things.
It doesn't even have to be a verbal thing.
No, you can say actions a lot of times speak louder too.
Yeah.
They really do. And it's really important to give that respect, and by showing that appreciation, you are inherently paying homage and respect.
Well, as we kind of come full circle here and kind of wrap up what respect means to each of us and what our thoughts are on the topic at hand, I have to say that I have a lot of respect for you personally for being the driving force behind Reunion itself. Your ambition, your goals.
None of that credit can give it to everyone else in this room.
You can,
I passed.
but you started it.
That's arguable.
At least from my perspective.
Okay. I can't
You
argue
can,
that.
you can understand that, right?
I can respect that.
I mean, you're the first one that introduced me to this. So, from that, I also find it interesting that right now, as we kind of talked about in the astrology episode, different signs correlate to different months and stuff, and right now we're in the sign of Libra, which Libra represents equality. Equality, basic respect for other individuals, caring about other individuals.
Way to connect shit.
Yep.
Way to connect shit. I'll
Yeah.
give you that one.
We'll make a link to that episode, by the way, number 2 astrology.
I'll give you that one. That's a good one. That was a connection right
Yeah,
there.
that was a
a
huge
straight
drive, fucking
connection.
circle.
That was a full circle right there, my
Yeah.
friend.
Hashtag full circle.
Oh, my arteries.
Your arteries.
I don't know, lasting words are just kind of repeating what I said before, just treating people not as if they're lesser than you, not as if they're greater than you, but just with that respect, just, they're on par with you. They're another human being and they deserve to be treated, so you deserve to be treated with respect,
Yes.
Right.
Well, I mean, just like each and every one of us has an equal opportunity to say what's on our mind here at the table, But one more thing I want to add for respect, for me personally, is when someone can give me respect for my values, my personal values, and what I believe, that to me is the most powerful thing that any other person can do for me. It means a lot. It truly is impactful when I could be friends with someone and they necessarily don't believe what I believe, but they can truly respect it and they won't force me to believe what they believe. That is something truly profound. That's the golden rule right there. That's true respect, and in my book, that is the highest form of respect that you can get from another individual, is that when they can truly accept you for who you are, regardless of the pros and cons of being your friend or what you do or what you believe.
So I guess, in closing, for me, I would like to first say that we, as in any of our topics, only scratch the very tip of the iceberg, quote unquote. We haven't even really crossed the threshold of this. As any of the topics we said in previous episodes and future episodes, it's only we're only able to talk for 30-some minutes each time. This is very basic stuff. We're not going too far into any of these topics. And there's a lot more on each of these topics I know that we've all personally talked about and that we can each explain on further. In the sense of respect, though, for me, it's all about, there's very few things I live my life by. One of them is the golden rule. Do unto others as you want done unto yourself. I firmly believe that. And that speaks two ways. People hear that, first of all, as you treating others with respect, but first of all, as others treating you with respect, it's you treating you with respect. As soon as you treat yourself with the basic human decency and respect that you deserve, you inherently start treating others with the human decency and respect they deserve. When you start treating others with the human decency and respect they deserve, and start treating you with the human decency and respect that you deserve. When you start being treated with the human respect and decency that you deserve, you start allowing other people to live their lives, and you start respecting their beliefs and their opinions. When you start respecting their beliefs and your opinions, you truly allow them to be free to make their own decisions. That's what this is all about. This is what equality is. This is what freedom is all about, is allowing others to live their life as they see fit, as long as they, the one requirement in my opinion is do no harm to others. Don't go out of your way. You don't hurt people physically, mentally, bodily, spiritually, any of that sense. You don't do that. And that all stems from the very beginning, respect. That's one of the most flagellant ways of disrespecting someone is by doing harm to them. So in summary, it's just basically that, is by treating someone else, nature, the world you live in, the gifts you receive, the people you encounter with, just by showing your appreciation and your care, you're giving a form of respect, and that. With that, I guess we'll close.
It's kind of interesting what you mentioned with like gifts, is that say you get a whole bunch of different gifts, regardless of the monetary value, you could have equal respect for each of the gifts because someone went out of their way to
We talked about that earlier in friendship too.
Yeah. Kind of relates back to friendship and the meaning of stuff like that.
That one close?
Well, real quick, I wanted to see if anyone has a question they'd like to ponder for the audience to answer in the comments below this episode.
Each individual has their way of showing their, absolute respect. We all have that little, I guess, I know it's the wrong word, but it's the word we use, like quirk. We use to show absolute respect, I guess what would be yours, what form of appreciation do you show? What action do you do to form the utmost respect to someone?
And in that, make sure to comment that below, like, subscribe to Reunion, join our circle. You're more than welcome. And in closing, this is
Nathaniel. Remember, as always, I'm counting on your vote for the 2016 presidential election. Let's free the world.
Let's do it.
Raven.
And Jared, thank you for watching Full Circle presented by Reunion.
I want to play Magic though. I built you guys decks. I spent all night building Magic decks. I built you a deck.
Okay, cool.
I haven't slept. Tell Raven. Stop it.